Ghana's agro-food processing sector is ranked the most important sector in the manufacturing area, with food and beverage representing the largest component of processed food. This week on The Ghanaian Farmer, we tell the story of Mianan Foods that has started way back 2005. And the most beautiful part in this story is the owner happens to be an accountant who finds herself in food processing. That is a beautiful story we'll be sharing with you this week on The Ghanaian Farmer. My name is Enyonam. Reach out to us or share your views, your questions with us right here on Joy Prime Television. I'm going for a quick breather. When I come back, the CEO, the beautiful woman behind the story, Charity, will be joining me to tell me more about what the inspiration was to set this company that has transformed a lot of life, creating more jobs, and of course, enlightening and opening eyes for other people to look at niche areas in the agriculture sector. I'll be right back after this. Stay tuned. For staying. If you're just tuning in, you're watching The Ghanaian Farmer here on Joy Prime Television, and we all the way in Afienya. Afienya Matayko precisely, and we find ourselves in an agro food processing facility, the biggest so far. It's been here since 2005 up until now. That's the secret, and I'll get it for you today if you're watching the video. Joining me is the brain behind Mianan Foods, Charity Edupon. Thanks for joining me, ma'am.
Welcome. Thank you for coming all the way. All the way.
Thank you very much. I know, right? I know. You need to
maneuver.
I know. Right. Thanks for having us. And oh my goodness, I was so impressed with all these awards here. Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
This goes a long way to tell how much impact you've created in this space. But my first question to you would be your general impression, looking at the year you started, somewhere 2005, 2006, up until now. What would be your account of the agro-food processing space?
Thank you. I think that we've done so much. I would say kudos to our women. When I started, information was very difficult to find, and the internet was not this available in our palms like we have now. So it was very difficult, but there were a few pioneers who did great for us. Madam Estelle Klo of Inkulin,
right,
did so much. I never met her, but I'm impressed and very happy about what he did for the agro business industry. And people like Madam Felicia of Home Foods, LC of LC Cares, and a few others. They've done, and even Salasi Farms, they've done so well. And then you come to my generation, the millennials. The reason I started was to make our indigenous foods appeal to everyone. So I would buy packaged foods from the store because I didn't like the way our markets were structured. And one time I went to buy beans and egusi for my weekend food as a national service person who had just moved to Tema, and I realized the packaging was poor. But my natural abilities and instincts are beautiful things. I am a creative person. I work with my hands. So I said, oh, I think I can do something.
You can do better.
Yes. So I spoke to the shop manager, and he said, oh, I can take you to who is in charge, but first bring me a sample. And I said, okay. So then I was working as an accounts manager at Chemical Limited. And I used to work on invoices for some of suppliers, those who supply raw materials and packaging material. And then I did the sorting nicely, package, got an olonka of what I wanted to do, and packaged it nicely and sent it. And he was like, oh, I don't know.
It looks beautiful.
It's not FL. So when he said that he broke the ice because I'm a fancy,
Right.
then we changed the language to
Okay.
fancy. We started, fancies when we meet, we joke about.
Yeah.
So we joked a bit, and then he said, okay, then I have to take you to the country manager. That was ShopRite, but then it was USave. It was a smaller version of ShopRite in Tema. And so we went to see him. But I would say that from that time to this time, packaging has changed so much. And I'm so happy about it.
Right.
And there are 1,000 more people doing this. Even though there are so many people in the industry, we still haven't scratched the surface of agro processing.
Really?
There's so much to do. There's so much to do. I have mentored a lot of people. Unfortunately, most of my mentors are in other African countries like Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and Cote d'Ivoire.
Okay.
But I have Ghanaian mentees as well. And,
okay.
We've done well. I'll say we've done well, but there's a lot of room for improvement. When I started, the FDA, for instance, was difficult to maneuver and get the certifications done. But I think that with the help of the NBSSI, now GE, and other institutions, things have been made more easier for people to be able to approach. And when I first went to do registration for my palm oil in 2014 or 2012, for instance, it gave me a long list of analysis
requirements, right?
But now I think it's just about 4 or 5.
Okay.
The most important ones.
Okay.
Yeah. So the ropes have been made shorter and more convenient. They haven't cut corners.
Okay.
But they've made it more
flexible
for us. And I think we are getting there, but there is a lot of room for it.
Okay. Great. Now, when someone hears the word food processing, now let's break it down a bit. What is it, or what do we describe as food processing?
To me, it is value addition to crops grown on the farms and extending the shelf life. Most foods, I think about 99% of the foods we get from the farm are perishable.
Yeah.
So if you take cassava, for instance, it can last just about 5 days. Maybe plantain can do 2 weeks. Eggs, 32 to 36 days is gone. So it's just adding value, changing from, say, a tuber to powder, to extend the shelf life, so that in the lean seasons we can still have food.
Great. So excellent. Now then, having said that, food processing goes through a lot of stages or phases before it gets to the doorsteps of the final consumer. What are the basics I need to go into this space?
Normally, my solicited advice or unsolicited advice to anyone, whether young or old, is that do not despise small beginnings.
Okay.
Never despise small beginnings. It is a very tough space because of regulations and certifications. But I would say that start wherever you are. Start with whatever is in your hands. Even the Bible says that just start. Start wherever you are. When I was telling you about how I told you about just buying one alone cup of everything to start. The unfortunate part of our world now, the social media and the see-believe world, is that people show you what they want you to see. And so if you do not take care, you might think that this is how it should be. You should have this and that before you start.
Right.
I started with basically nothing.
Okay.
And I started without knowledge in the industry. It was what my mother taught me in the kitchen. I started with. And then with time, I learned on the job. I have been to several trainings. I can't even count them.
Right.
And I have also invited people to come here and
Okay.
train us.
Okay.
So just start where you are and let the people around you enjoy whatever you are trying to do. I think that word of mouth is more of an advert or promotion than anything other you can think of. So if one person tries to say, oh, what, the thing is nice, can you bring me some next week again? She will keep telling other people that, oh, I bought this from this person and it's nice. So just start where you are and then seek knowledge. The world is moving faster than when I started. There is so much on the internet. There's so much on YouTube. There's so much on TikTok. There's so much. The other day I read that in a minute about 1 million videos are loaded onto the internet. When we go there, what do we look for? So if you want to start in the food industry space, then you have to be looking for people who are maybe
creating content around that.
Working with farmers. How do farmers even get their seeds? Getting all that knowledge helps you in your space to work around and
great. So one would ask, since you're into food processing, packaging, delivering, do you have your farm?
I don't have a farm.
Okay.
I'm an off-taker.
You buy from farmers?
I buy from farmers.
So okay.
I profile my farmers and give them a very simple contract to go by.
Okay.
And in the contracts, we say that at any point in time, we buy at a fair market price. So we at any point in time, we discuss pricing and then they supply. I've tried farming before. I was a poultry farmer when I was in the Polytechnic.
How did it end?
Combining that with the marketing and distribution was hard.
A lot of work.
And the other side was the theft. It was too much. The stories were too much. So I thought that maybe if I offtake, not maybe, if I offtake and specialize in the packaging and distribution, I'll be better.
All right. So run me through some of the products that you process here and then package for delivery. Run me through some.
Okay, so we have about 32 products.
Okay.
Chief among them, we package fresh eggs.
Okay.
For the supermarket.
Yeah.
What's unique about our eggs is that each egg you buy from the Mianan Foods, whether it's in a pack of 6, 12, 20, 30, there is a traceability mark on each egg.
Okay.
And then there is an expiration date or best before date on the egg, telling you when it is good enough for you to eat your eggs. And then the traceability also helps us to trace it to the farm, because we have about 10 farmers that we source.
Who supply the eggs.
Yes, so if there is any issue, we can easily trace it to a farm, the farm that the problem is coming from. That's one.
Okay.
And then we have tubers that have been processed into flour.
Okay.
And that is we have cassava. So when it comes to cassava, we process into about 6 products.
Okay.
We have high quality cassava flour, which can be used as an alternative to wheat flour. Can be used for anything, even bread. Like with bread, you may have to add a bit of the wheat flour because this cassava doesn't have the swelling agent in it. Yeah. So that and then we have gari from cassava. We have fufu. We mix cassava with plantain to make fufu.
Cassava fufu.
Yes.
All right.
And then we have kokonte.
Okay.
And then sometimes we do tapioca on other bases.
Right.
And then we do starch as well. So that's 6. And then we have palm oil.
Okay.
And coconut oil. Those are the oils, the 2 oils that we have. We have a range of spices. We have the standalones and the mixtures. So we have Kiliwili spice, which is a mix. Suya powder, kebab powder, dawadawa, prekese, pepper, ginger, onion, and then we have an all-purpose spice, which is a very sweet and sour spice, very nice for anything in your kitchen. And then we have onion and garlic powder.
Okay.
And then we have the snacks and the nuts. So we process cashew, we process peanuts,
right.
And then we have condiments like shito and sugar, and then honey.
32 is quite a lot to mention, but then this brings me to this critical part, which is you profile the farmers, you discuss the fair market price, the supply, but beyond that, how are you keeping eyes on what they're producing? Because in food business, there are standards. Exactly, there are standards to meet. So how do you take care of that gap?
Okay, so I work with the district agri office.
Okay.
So you see that I have a district processor of the year.
Yes.
I won that in
2019. Yes.
Yes, I work with them a lot. When we first came here, they discovered us that we're processing food. So, and then they introduced us to the farmers.
Okay.
So they organized them for me to train them. Yes.
Okay.
I do trainings.
Right.
As to what I need.
They produce to meet your standard.
Yes.
Okay.
Best quality.
Okay.
I need. We have also tried to help some come together and then get them fair trade certifications, for instance, so that we can boldly say that we are producing organic food.
Right.
But it is a very
long process. Right.
Yes, and we are still in the process.
Okay.
But we get to train the agri office. They do theirs, I do mine. Sometimes they come here, we meet together with the extension officers to show them what they should do and what not to do.
Okay. Now, the food processing business is quite a big space, and it needs a lot of tools, gadgets, technology to work with. Then I'll come to the funding side. How then did you raise the money? Because looking at the structure, viewers, I'll let you see. I didn't bring a drone, but I'll try to let you see what it is we're talking. It's a huge facility. And there are things that will process this gari, this fufu and all that. The funding. Small accountant, how did you get the money?
Yeah, it's been a long time. I started in 2005, but I registered a business in 2006. And then I started from my kitchen. And the FDA came and they said, no, I can't be cooking there and be doing this. So I had to find a small separate place. And they helped me to fix it, especially the standards authority, to fix it up nicely and do it. And then later, I got a shop because I was working then as an accountant. I got a shop about 3 to 5 minutes walk from my office. So I could just walk in and out if there's anything to be done. I did that for a while. Then I got a second shop next to it. The third person also moved that, and I got that. So I think in about 5 years, I got 4 shops together that I was working from in Tema. And then I got married. So I moved most of the processing to my husband's garage. I told him to park outside so I can use the garage to process. And he agreed. It was a big garage enough. He could park 2 cars. So, yeah, so I set it up nicely and used it. And whilst there, my colleagues were buying lands. My fear had always been how to get a land without litigation. So my colleagues were buying land and some had finished their houses. So I realized this land was
there's no problem. Free.
So I spoke to one of my colleagues and said, oh, I think they still have some tools sitting somewhere, so let's go. That's how I got this
place.
And then whilst here, so some of my neighbors got into some difficulty. They were selling their land.
So you bought extra.
Yes, so it was a gradual process. I think I started building here in the 8th year. Now we are like 18 years. We're 18 years in September last month. Yeah. So I started building in the 8th year. It was gradual.
Right.
So it was this place
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
It was a warehouse where I could, and then you use one warehouse for production. I use the other warehouse to keep the raw materials and yeah. And then with time, the FDA still were regulating.
Yeah, exactly.
So they said no, you can't put finished goods and raw materials
together.
So I built the container as an immediate thing to keep the raw finished goods there. And then gradually we built the small one you see there for grinding stuff, the protocols. And here was becoming too tight. And I think just about 2021 we started building the second phase. The processing area. And that was finished just last month. Yeah, so it's been a gradual process. And my bankers also did well. They were encouraged
because I needed you to be specific. Is it the banking money that you were turning over or the external support?
Because I'm an accountant, I keep my records well. So when I come and you tell me, oh, it's this and that, I'll just pull it for you. I have my figures off head. I work with one gentleman. He's an older man now, Mr. Gatti. Mr. Gatti could keep containers that we cleared for 6 years. Bill of lading number. Do you know how bill of lading number is? It's a long one. Most times it's over 20 characters. He could keep that in his head. So I picked some of those. So most of the time I have my figures of my fingers in my head. And I can easily tell you what's going. So, and the good thing is that I did this thing all alone from the beginning. I used to drive myself to do deliveries. I was the accountant, the marketing officer, the cleaner. I was everything. So when you tell me a lie, just by looking at the books, I can tell you, no, that's not what it is.
So there was external support at a point.
Oh yes. Then I think I did the business alongside doing my accounting job for 11 years.
Oh really? You didn't quit immediately?
No. I needed that money. I needed that money.
So
sometimes I wouldn't even use my salary, but I fell on it in difficult times. Yes, and I was paid well as well. And I had a little incentives here and there. So it was even difficult quitting the job. And that helped a lot. Chemical paid well. I would always say that. And then my bankers, last time I had an interview with CTTV. It was in the night they showed. I didn't even know it was showing. And then somebody called me, showed Mr. Lambert. This was my first relationship manager at Barclays. He said, oh, I've seen you. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of you. He said, oh, Mr. Lambert, I'm happy I can make you proud. Because he forced me to take my first loan. He said, Charity, you can do it. I think I can do better. Take this loan. It was 5,000 cedis. Then it was big money for me.
Money. You were scared.
I was scared. You know, even I was supposed to pay it over a year. In the 8th or 9th month, I cleared it because I was so scared. And then after a short time, I said, come for 10,000. So that was it. But in 2015, when I quit my job, I heard on Peace FM that there was a business plan competition going on. That was Engine. And I casually said, okay, let me go and try this thing and see how it goes. And by God's grace, I won the first place. I won £6,000. And that boosts my confidence a lot. So from there, I started writing for grants and small support there. And some trainings as well. Some trainings which have been very expensive for me as a business owner, but I got it for free. Like the Cosmos Innovation Center also had a business booster thing. They chose just 10 of us, and it was very thorough. So yes, I learned a lot.
All right. Now the suppliers, which is the farmers you work with, one of the biggest challenge that off-takers have with farmers who will supply them is inconsistent supply. How do you make sure that you don't disappoint your buyers, and they also don't disappoint you. How do you handle that?
Sign the contracts. So I don't just sign the contract with my farmers. I sign the contract with my suppliers.
Right.
So if I have a contract with you that every week I have to give you 100 crates of eggs, you have to find a way to buy that.
Okay.
Unless it is a situation that we both cannot control.
Okay.
Then I have to look for a different market to sell in.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and also I manage my supply well. So after I work with you for about a month or two, I sit down and draw a plan for you. I look at your sales pattern and know that you can sell, say, 70 crates of eggs in a week, or you can sell 10 bottles of palm oil in a week. So one day if you just get up and call me and say, Charity, bring me 100 cartons of, I'll have to ask you questions before I bring it to you. I won't just
be not all about the money and excited.
No. No. I would come and see why you want it that way.
Okay.
Sometimes somebody may have just popped into the shop. My model is such that I work with supermarkets.
Okay.
Yeah, so somebody may have bumped into the shop and just taken everything
Clear
they have
everything
on the shelf. And so I have to be able,
restock.
but I'm always hedging somewhere. It could be on the farm, it could be here. So when you tell me, I can say, okay, give me a day, give me 2 days, let's organize it.
Okay. Before we come to your staff strength, let's talk about some of the certifications that I should have. Is it before, during, or after? What are some of the basic certifications that a food processor, a startup who want to go into this space, will be needing?
The very first one is your facility license.
Okay.
That is from the FDA.
Okay.
Without that, you can't even start, because you are going to make food for people to eat.
Yes.
And that is a very serious issue. So at least go and see them. They may not immediately give you, and it is not immediate.
Yes.
Because definitely they have to show you certain things to be done. And then when they come, say, okay, paint this place, like they put this on the floor.
Okay.
This thing shouldn't be here. You can't keep this and food together here and all of that. Those are very simple things to do. They don't make it too strange, so at least a startup can do that easily. And they have people there at the inspection department to come with you to see the place and advise on what to do. That's the first. And it's also very reasonable to pay for. Yeah. And then you come to the food certification itself.
Okay.
And that's also by the FDA. And so they'll look at what food you are going to do, give you the parameters, and then you do the analysis, and then go back to them and all of that.
Okay.
The other people you can talk to is a standards authority.
Okay.
They can also help you with the standards to keep and all of that. Their authority over food is not compulsory.
Okay.
But if you have it, it is better.
Okay.
Yeah. So they can also help with advice on what to do, what not to do, the standards to keep and all of that.
Okay.
And then the food research. Developing a food product. What needs to be done, how much time you need to dry something, what temperature you need to dry cassava for starch, cassava for
gari,
cassava for
fufu,
cassava for high quality. All of that to be taught at the Food Research Institute.
Okay.
So you talk to them as well, and then they will support you with that advice.
All right.
But without the FDA, you cannot put food on the shelves.
I see. Okay. Are these certificates annual renewal thing, or is just a one-time I pay for it and then I use it forever?
So your facility license is an annual thing, because that one they can even decide to come and visit you without your knowledge and check if you are keeping the place well. Okay. Yes. So that's an annual thing. But the food registration certification is for 3 years. You renew every 3 years. But it doesn't end there. It doesn't mean that because they've been it for 3 years, in between that time, you have to be analyze the food.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Now, the market you're dealing with, is it just the Ghanaian market, or you are even exporting?
Okay, so we used to do a bit of export, especially to some African countries like Liberia,
right?
Sometimes to Nigeria and a few other places. But COVID made it difficult.
Okay.
So the focus came here. But we're also, exporting to Italy, for instance, with palm oil and curry and others. But now, I think that's one thing COVID taught us, that the market is here. People need food here because urbanization is growing very fast. Everybody is moving into the city, and time is a luxury now. So giving time and convenience, people will always want something that, and the cooking of our food is so laborious. If you want to make fufu and palm nuts, look, you need the whole thing.
The sweat.
Yes. So that's why I said the space is big.
Right.
We all can do something to support in one way or the other. Yeah. So you want something that you can make in 10 to 15 minutes and eat, and that's why.
All right. Let's talk about the mode of transportation from the farm to the facility. From the facility to your end users, how do you transport? Because this is food, it has to be handled in a way, packaged in a way. How do I, arrange my mode of transportation?
Most of the people we deal with, because I have about almost 200 farmers around me here. Some come from afar. Around me. So those who are around, it's strategic that we have our factory here. And we go and pick it up ourselves. Sometimes we even help them with the harvesting. So we pick it up ourselves, because for some of the products like high quality, within 24 to 48 hours of the harvesting of the harvest, you should finish the processing. So I need to know the time that the cassava was uprooted. So if you uprooted it 2 days ago, you don't come and tell me it's for today. So we go and cut it ourselves.
And bring it.
But some also bring it. But we work with them with time. Sometimes there's supervision.
Tell me.
But some also bring it. But we work with them with time. And sometimes there's supervision there too.
Tell me about your staff strength. How many staff are you working with?
Okay, so now the permanent staff about 33.
And
then, but every other week we have
casual
workers about 15 to 20.
You are an accounting person, but now you've got a lot of certificates, which is training you around food processing and all that. How about your staff? What goes into me recruiting someone to come and work with? If Ghanaian farmer tomorrow, I said I also want to start here, can I get this inspiration? I want to start packaging, let's say, palm oil, or maybe packaging vegetables to sell. What should my staff quality be made of?
Okay, so we are fortunate that we have a quality assurance person, quality control person here. So when we pick someone, the first thing we teach them is their own personal hygiene. Before they can handle food. And then we take them through the physical, medical checks. And that's done at the district assembly offices. So they come and take blood, urine, and all of those and check. And that one you have to do it annually for your staff. So they do that, and then Cassandra takes them through food handling. And food safety and food handling. And even after that, weekly we have 30 to an hour meeting of training as reminders as to how to handle food, how to shut the door, how to put food down, how to cover.
I see. Interesting. There's an exciting conversation ongoing here on the Ghanaian Farmer. My name is Enyonam, and seated next to me is the brain behind this facility you see today. The journey started way back 2005, and now we're in 2024. They've gone past 18 years, and the story is still unfolding with a lot of people who has gone through her training. She's mentoring a lot of people across Africa, and of course here in Ghana. Like she said, the market is right here in Ghana. Those of you who are so excited, and I want to export, hello, Nyabuche. start selling here. When you have enough in excess, then you can look at exporting. I'm going for a quick breather. When I come back, we'll talk about which day do they process. I mean, proud to the processing, what are the arrangement, preparation, all that. We'll be right back to wrap up the interview, but stay tuned, I'll be right back. Which days do you usually do production?
Every day.
Hey, Damien.
Sometimes weekends.
Okay.
Yeah. And now we have a shift.
Okay.
So even in the night, some people are working.
Really?
Every day.
Okay.
Yeah, so in a week, if you take cassava for instance, we are pushing to, now we can do about 6 tons in a week, but we are pushing to 7 and 8. The last 2 weeks, we were able to do 8
okay.
in a week. Yeah.
Okay. So cassava alone,
yeah,
that's how much you're able to do. Oh, I see. That's great. You're doing so much, honestly.
Thank you.
Okay. Now let's talk about the people who buy from you. The off-takers who buy your product. Do you go looking for them or they find you? And what's the agreement? I heard you said you sign a contract that this is how much you buy. Yeah. So if I produce, you have to buy.
Yeah. We help them. We also push the traffic into the shops.
Okay.
One powerful tool this generation has given us is social media. TikTok, Facebook,
yes,
Instagram.
Okay.
So we push the traffic there. I do not like individual deliveries because the logistics work is a lot.
Okay.
And also because of where we are situated. So if you say I'm buying a liter of palm oil and maybe a bottle of one spice or something, and that's about 70 cedis or even 50 cedis, and then I'm delivering that to you from here, you may have to pay about 100
Too
cedis.
much.
So I direct all the traffic into the shop.
Distributors.
And so when people call, I say, where are you? Are you close to this place or that place? Okay, then you can get it from this shop. Can get from this shop or this Melcom or this Palace or this. You see, yeah. But sometimes if the orders are big enough, if you are buying something maybe beyond 200, 300, then we can offer to even deliver to you at a very minimum.
Okay.
We take part of the cost and give you a very minimum cost as a delivery cost. Yeah. But what was your question again?
I'm asking how you find these distributors.
How I find my distributors.
Yeah.
I think that because my first customer was ShopRite, immediately they opened the mall. That was my signpost.
Oh.
Yeah, people found the product there.
Okay.
And then
they also come.
They come.
Okay.
And in recent times, I use social media a lot.
Okay.
So the few exports I've done to the EUA and some African countries all came from TikTok and Facebook.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have some exporters that were introduced to us by the Exim Bank. Okay. Because they ran their Tuesday markets, for instance. Yeah, so we met people there. They bring the exporters.
Okay, that brings me to what associations? I'm asking all these questions because it's very important. What are some of the associations should I belong to if I want to go into food processing? Many.
There's the Women in Agribusiness.
Okay.
There's Women in Trade.
Okay.
There's food processing, plenty of them. And you don't even need to meet.
Okay.
It's all virtual meetings, WhatsApp, all of that.
Okay.
And then there is these support groups that are available, like the and Wacom, all those things.
They are all available.
They are all available, but it all depends on which products you are working with. Some are focused and specific on products they want to work on, like shea butter or this or that. And AGI, Association of Ghana Industries, a whole lot.
A lot of them. But then,
you have to look for them.
Agro-food processing industry or sector, is it an expensive venture to, take on? And is it also profitable? Because definitely if I'm pushing in my 1 million Ghana cedi, is it worth it?
Definitely worth it.
What are some of the rewards you've enjoyed from this?
The only thing that can take Africa from where it is now to the next level. It's agribusiness. God gave us land, He gave us weather, and He gave us the people.
Right.
What else do we need? Elsewhere, they have to now work on the weather,
navigate,
and work on their deserts before they can grow.
Yeah.
But we have it all here. We have a conducive atmosphere and environment to do that. So we don't need anything else.
Okay.
Agriculture is the way for us.
Okay.
And it is profitable. It is risky, but profitable. But what is not risky to do? Life itself is risky. To go and come. We take it for granted, but it's not an easy thing. You can be driving well and be so careful on the road, but another driver can hit you off the road. So everything is risky. That's why sometimes the banks are not willing to help with loans, and the insurance people are not willing to also insure us. But I told you the story, my story with Mr. Lambert, right? When he realized that my accounts were running well, he pushed the money to me.
Okay. So it's all about how you manage your books.
How you manage it.
Okay.
Record keeping is very important. Yes.
Run me through some of the awards we have here. I see women in agribusiness, Guza Guza, and this is 2022.
Yes.
And you won what?
She Innovator of the Year.
Yeah. She Innovates Award.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is Super Mom.
This was for my last baby on Mother's Day.
All right. And this one is 40 under 40.
Agribusiness of the Year.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Agribusiness of the Year.
That, yes. Agriculture and agro processing.
Yeah. And this is from Brain. Global Inventors and Innovations Awards.
Right.
I did some work with the Ghana Standards Authority.
Okay. And this is the 35th National Farmers Day
Award.
And you won
the District Agri-Processor of the Year.
Okay.
And then last year.
Yeah, the 39th edition, which is 2023.
Regional
Oh my! Congratulations, my darling. You're doing so well.
Thank you.
Are you open for investment opportunities, or are we seeing Mian, food processing school anytime soon to train people? What's the future?
I get that a lot.
Yeah,
I get that a lot. But the work is tough. Keeping an eye, making sure the right thing is done.
Yeah.
And with some integrity and trust that you are feeding people with the right food. So when my friends keep buying from me, it makes me very happy. Because at least I know they are very close to me, so they know I'm doing the right thing. That's why they'll buy from me. But if my friends were not buying from me, I would have been very worried. Yeah. So it's a big space. I do trainings. I'm getting a lot of that from TikTok, for instance. In a day, I get about 3 requests. Okay. Can you train me? Can I do? Yeah. So I'm working on myself first to put together something to support.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Climate change is impacting. The farmers who are supplying you are facing a lot of climate issues. We are being encouraged to use friendly packaging, environmental friendly and all that. How is Mianam Foods inculcating with this mindset of friendly?
At some point in time, we're running these promos of return your package for
a discount.
That was a way we're trying to get them back to recycle. But gradually we are moving towards paper. Okay. So by next December, most of our spices will come in a cylindrical aluminium
paper packaging,
for instance. So that is biodegradable and environmentally friendly. Yeah, so we are gradually moving there. Gradually, some of those are very expensive, like shito, for example. If you put in a glass, it immediately shoots up the price. And so we are looking for ways of doing it. And most of the time the minimum MOQ is large, so you need a lot of money to start off.
Okay.
So we are gradually looking into that.
The name is Charity. Edupong. Is that correct? And she's the brain behind Mian Foods, and she's been in this space for quite a long time. The success story, the impact is being massive, and this is what we're looking at. If you're a young woman out there, that's why I always say, don't resign because you want to start something else. Why don't you find a way of balancing both? And then at a certain stage,
take your time.
At a certain stage,
take your time, because
you can
whatever money you are getting from wherever, you need that money
to support
Take your time and plan your exits.
You look in the camera and share your final words with young women
and plan your exits.
Who wants to venture into this space.
When I was quitting my job, I thought, okay, I can come to work in the morning, do stuff. By 2, I'm closed. I pick my boys from school, blah, blah, blah. I was looking at being like a very efficient mom. But when you're running your business yourself, sometimes even sleep eludes you. So, because in the beginning, you are the business owner, the accountant, the marketer, the messenger, the cleaner, everything, right? So take your time, plan the exits, plan with the money that you are getting, and plan how you are investing that money, so that you not start the business and start looking back. It is a very tough space in Ghana, especially because this is a country where you can go to bed with 15% of that, and then the next morning is 21, and you have to fit in. Things change like chameleons change. So take your time, plan your exit, and grow your wings such that when the storms come, you can still fly through.
When the storm comes, you can still fly through. You know what? I am now going on a tour with Charity in her facility. So you get to see all the product, or most of the product that she's mentioned. You see them yourself, and of course, if you want to trade with her, you would start trading with her. You can even set up a shop, let her just give you, you'll be selling. Start from there, and then you can come into the processing itself. You always have to start from somewhere. I was once a presenter in a radio or TV station. Today, I'm a self-employed person. So I started from somewhere, learn all the skills, the in and out, and today I'm a boss of my own. That's how it always starts. So plan your exit well, like you said. How do we find you finally on social media?
Okay,
any numbers to call?
On social media, on Facebook, it's Mianan Foods. On Instagram, it's Mianan Foods _2006. On TikTok, it's MF Mianan Foods.
Okay.
Mama's Finest Mianan Foods. Yeah, and my personal pages, Mami Ekwa Edupong. If you want to call us, you can call us on 0244 287 527.
All right, so that's it. Call her, reach out to her on social media. Please present a business case. We beg you, business case, and she'll be here to help you just the way you wanted to start off your business. My name is Enyonam, and this has been the Ghanaian Farmer. Thank you very much for making time with us. We've done enough in the farm. We need to step out and promote some of these people as well, who are doing amazing things, helping our farmers to reduce the food loss. Thank you so much for having us.